Everybody, we're back. It's the Monday live show. Um,
Matt, we can't hear you very well.
okay, and then I will start again. Hello, hello, hello. No,
Still kind of quiet.
Yeah.
Yes. Why does it
For all the
do
equipment you have on, you
why
should
does
sound
it
way better.
do this? I hate when it does this.
Okay, we got you.
Hello, is it working now?
Yes.
I just banged on my table.
Violence works.
All right. Well, thanks for making me laugh, Cheryl. Because we're going to talk about Ryland some today, and I don't know anybody to say it, but to say that, but we've got news and other stuff to talk about. But I want to talk about Ryland, and I guess I'll go first and say that I was in Starbucks and working, and I have this habit of like not looking away from my Instagram for a second. Like I'll be waiting for something like an email to go through, and I'm like, oh, and it just came through, and there's this picture, and there's the words, and it just, my brain didn't register. Like for a millisecond, it was like, is this a weird joke? Like, what is this? And then I just stood up loudly and said, oh my God, like 3 times. And as people started to turn towards me, I didn't even know what to say. Like, it's one of those things that you kind of never forget, because like even in the moment, I almost said my friend died, and my brain's like, well, he's not really your friend. So I just said this kid that I know died, and people are just like, they don't know what to fucking do with that information. So yeah, and then I just didn't know what to do. So I went for a walk. I think I messaged Dave right away. I don't remember who I messaged right away, but I just kind of went for a walk, and have reached out to a bunch of people since. And I don't know what else to say. I guess the one other thing I'll say is I knew that I needed to say something like, well, this is news and people are going to find out, but should I write something? And I was like, do I write a whole thing? And I was looking for pictures, and I have a ton of pictures. And Google Photos is great because you just tell it the person's face and it finds everything. So I found that video from that Alpha Warrior event, and I was like, all right, well, this is great. This is him like just going for it. So I guess that's what I'll say for now. Yeah, whoever wants to go next.
Cheryl?
Matt, I'm wondering what memories you'll have of him. I mean, I think the best thing that happened last week was how we were all able to remember who he was and who he represented for us. And I just, I don't know, like, do you have any memories?
Well, I think a similar feeling that a lot of us had were, I wasn't that close to him, but, and it's one of those things where I think, but it, I wasn't that close to him, but it really affected me. And I think it's because of how young he was. And I just think that fucks people's brain up. And I know there are people who are really close to him. I don't know who the closest people are to him. I assume that Colorado crew, but like, I don't know who his friends were. And I know that he traveled a ton. So I don't even know like what his living situation was, but that was kind of like, what do I remember? So I know this wasn't the first time I met him, but it feels like it, which is, it was 7 a.m. at OCRWC, and he walked over, and we needed a table for our tent, and he was helping. Oh man, Cheryl.
Sorry, you don't have to do this.
No, I want to. It's good. It's good to let it out. It's good to talk about a person that exemplifies good human stuff. I was setting up a table, and he started helping us. Dave, maybe you were there. I don't know. And I was like, what are you doing? I was like, are you racing later? He's like, yeah. I'm just got off my fireman shift and I don't have a ticket. So they told me if I volunteered, I could race. And so he volunteered at like 5 a.m. after a shift. And if at the end of that video, actually, I'm now remembering that video at Alpha Warrior, he's saying I need a shower because he had just raced like the Pan Am Champs and then flew down to that rally event. And so I remember that about him. And I'll probably think of more, but I definitely remember being really impressed that this kid was willing to, and a guy that was probably going to make the podium was willing to volunteer at 5 a.m.
Yeah. Yeah, he was like that, wasn't he? He hasn't been around a long time. Like he was around kind of, he sort of started 2021, something like that. Like it hasn't been a super long time. And he just started winning right away and showed up. And he had really been one of the kind of people that I kind of watched just because he was so different, right? Like he just did anything he wanted. I had a really good conversation last week, got some really sage advice from somebody. Oh, Dave, it was you, where you said that maybe I start looking to, instead of optimizing my performance, maybe I need to start optimizing joy. And I have that down in my notes. And one of the things that
I'll
I
be telling
thought,
people I say shit like that.
yeah, your secret's out.
No.
So the thing that was interesting is that was like what, Tuesday, I think we talked, maybe, no, it was Monday. And my first thought when I kind of internalized that was I need to be more like Rylan chatting, right? Because that kid, you would ask him why he did the stuff he did, and he would just say, I just want to run fast. Like, I just like to be out here. And he just had this kind of joy about the experience that I think we can get really, really caught up in qualifications and numbers and, this and that. And when it comes right down to it, we better be having a good time. And I think he was the person that did that. And I've always really appreciated that about who he represented in that way. And so I tend to think about him a lot. A couple of months ago, I was thinking about Dallas DECA World Champs, where I was there for all 3 days. It was, very, very big event. And he was he's a person of faith who was unapologetic about his beliefs and was fearless about sharing them. And in Dallas, he organized a devotional where he was going to have a devotional that people were welcome to come to. He said it was going to be at a certain time on a certain day. And I remember walking through the venue and looking across. It's, Dallas was a big, big venue. We were all there, looking across the venue and seeing him with his little group of people sitting in the corner, having their little devotional. And I regret to this day not going, just because that would have added to my experience, right? I mean, Ryland Shattuck's devotional, like who doesn't want to show up to that? And I know I would have left uplifted. I know it would have been like just value added for my life. And so I really regret not going to that. But I appreciate there are so many of us in this community who are people of faith. And I feel like he represented that segment of us well. And so I appreciated that. The only other thing I'll say is that I saw a bumper sticker a while back where it just said, I miss Tom Petty. And there are people who will just shine bright for us, right? Because they leave us too soon. And I'm going to miss him.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I don't know that I can top that, Cheryl. That's great. I mean, I think so many of us are in the situation where we're like, and I don't know, I chatted with Ryan, or Ryland, so we would chat online and we talk like a little bit of van life stuff and things like that, along with racing, of course. But I think, and I talked about this with some people this weekend, a lot of us felt guilty to feel as bad as we did, like we didn't have the right to feel that way. because I was, and I said it when I did the video. I mean, I wasn't his best friend. Yes, we were friends, but I wasn't his best friend, and yet it hit like it was. And I think I've been racking my head trying to figure out why that is the case, because it clearly was not just me. Like it was across the board. And I think part of the thing is, you see in life there are polarizing personalities, you know, and I may be one of them. He was not. Everybody liked him. You know, he was that guy that everyone liked. And it wasn't like you just, yeah, you don't meet people like that very often. And to be so young and so full of life and so good to everybody, it just, you know, it was one of those, it's one of those deals where it always would have been too soon. But at like 27 is just, yeah, it's criminal. And I'm glad he lived the way he did and he enjoyed life the way he did. I just hope, and I thought this because, I mean, obviously your phones were probably like mine, and just every story, every post, every reel was Rylan. And normally if you see something that much, you get sick of it, but it made me happier and happier and happier every one I saw. And I just hope that his family got to see what he meant to people literally across the world. You know, in that short a time he had, what a difference he made. And, you know, he will never be forgotten.
Yeah.
And
I forgot that one of the relays I was doing, so I don't remember which one, but I remember when in his race, one of the Chicagos, one of the DCs, the heat started and he took a second, you know, he took an extra second to
Chicago.
like to be with God. And I'm like, I'm going to do that. And I did that in my relay. And I'm like, I'm just going to let the crowd grow and take those extra 3 seconds, 5 seconds. And it's funny because like I already forgot that. Like that's he had that effect on me. That was a year or two ago. And I'm, you know, Rylan and I are not the same faith. And he and I never talked about it. I don't think. I mean, I may have asked him about it like in a question, but he and I didn't have theological discussions and I didn't participate in that. I also remember that devotional. They were over in the corner there. They were all circled up. I mean, I remember that well, but because I can get turned off pretty quick, right? People can be real preachy, and I'm a attraction, not promotion kind of a guy. And so like I don't talk about my faith a lot, and it's a big part of my life since I got sober, right? So there was one other memory I had, and now I can't think of it, like a really strong one. I mean, just to say that anybody who's willing to talk to me when they win or when they lose is a good person, and he's one of those. And I guess the other memory, probably from that same OCRWC, is that he got DQ'd and just took it, right? He had the chalk on his hands, and he's like, "Yep, on me. Nobody's fault but mine." And it was like, that's.
I remember we did a post, a story about that, like a kind of a cartoon of Ryland with a bottle of liquid chalk and stuff. Ryland's did.
But wise beyond his years, like willing to just own up, made a really honest post about it, apologizing, you know, just, you don't see that with a lot of athletes. I think their egos can get in the way and they're just never going to admit that they did something wrong. And yet he was so honest about it. And I really, really appreciated that.
Yeah.
So let's all be more like Rylan.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how to do a segue. Should I tell you about
Just roll.
The well, Dave, you'll appreciate this as a handy person. I've had this idea like in the back of my mind for many years of like, one of these days I'm going to build my dream studio, right? So I can set this stuff up and leave it in a camera. I don't have to schlep it to the co-working places and plug it in every time. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. My kids are gone one day, maybe, I don't know. So we've started to put together, we started to think about it more recently, because it's like, well, one of our kids is gone, and maybe we can do this. Maybe we can build this thing in the backyard. And we we have 3 children, right? There's 2 of us. We have a 3-bedroom house. So when you buy that house, because it's what you can afford, and your kids are small to medium-ish age, right? But at some point, you need more house. We don't want to move because we got this house at a good time, at a good interest rate. And so it's like, Emma went to college, kind of the perfect time, because now River's big enough that now River has a room. However, Emma's going to come home on the weekends. Emma's going to come home in the summer. Emma's going to come home in the holidays. You know, there's probably the next 3 to 5 years, she's going to be here a fair amount, right? Because even when she moves out, you know how that goes, Gerald. They leave, they come back. Dave, you know, they leave, they come back. So it's like,
not if they don't have anywhere to come back to.
Not unless you move into a van. They're not coming back. So it's like, oh, this is a real thing now. We actually need to build a thing in the backyard. And so we started talking to people, and we met this woman, or this friend of Stacy's, who like does this all the time and is really knowledgeable. And so there are things you can do to get around permits. However, which make things take a lot longer and more expensive. However, I don't know if I've told you this, but we're not real big fans of our neighbor, and we're positive he would make a phone call that would make things more difficult. So now we're navigating this whole thing of, because we thought maybe we'd have something by the time she did come home for Christmas break, and now that's not going to happen. But because basically you could build a shed and like kind of trick it out and be fine under a certain size. Once you add plumbing, you 100% need a permit. Once you have a slab, you 100% need a permit. This is different states, but you can build it on not stilts, but kind of. And we know nothing. Like Stacey and I are the opposite of Dave, right? We are not handy. So like he starts asking us questions, and I'm like, hey man, like I just need you to like drop. This is this contractor who we think we're going to use. I really like him, but I'm like, we don't know what we want. And he keeps pushing it back on us, which I understand, because you don't want to do something and then your client say, why did you do it that way? But he keeps saying like, well, if you do this with the transom and then this with the piping, and I'm like, I have no fucking clue what you like. I'm asking Chad everything. Anyway, it's going to be a massive, just stay tuned, because we've got this big backyard, and we knew that when we bought the house. We're like, this big old backyard, which right now has a nice soccer goal on it, and my little home gym, which you've seen me work out in. So we've got the space to do it, and it's still going to be cheaper than adding onto this house. So anyway, it's going to be an adventure.
It's going to be amazing when it's done.
Yeah, and then in another whatever years, I'll finally get my dream office in another 5 to 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
So hot take: cheaper to buy yourself a camping trailer, put that in the backyard.
A camping trailer?
Yeah,
like how big? Like you'd have to get it. You have to get it back there. That's part of the problem too.
Get one of those Airstreams,
well,
like a cool looking Airstream.
But well, Airstreams are taking away the cheap factor. But yeah, like an 18 to 20 foot trailer, drive it back there. There's your whole thing, your guest house, your everything. You're in Atlanta, so I mean, you could pump heat to it. You'd be fine.
Yeah, so we've got a pretty narrow situation over here. So you'd have to like get a crane to go like up and over the house, I think. Like that's kind of the biggest issue, because even we were looking at, you get the prefab for the outside and then have them trick it out. And I thought the prefab showed up built, but I think they can build those in some pieces. Like you can fit, Dave, what do you call the little, like when we've had trees taken out, the little, I think the brand name that I always call it is like Kabata, you know, like the little mini dozer. Yeah, a little Bobcat can fit on the side of the house, but I don't think that's wide enough for the whole trailer.
You need about 10 feet.
You need about 10 feet
to get it. About 10 feet. Yeah.
Like I said,
good solid.
Like I said, if he wasn't such a cocksucker, we could even go through his backyard and like bring it through. But
yeah.
Anyway,
What'd you do to upset your neighbor? That's what I want to know.
No. He's not a good person.
Oh.
Stacy took the high road and was really nice for a long time, and then she's like, now she regrets it. It's a longer story. I'll tell you another time. But
okay.
Anyway, so do you want to move into the one thing we got wrong today and the possible 2 things we got wrong, but one of them's not our fault?
Cool.
Yeah, I woke up in the middle of the night to your guys' conversation about this thing, and I just and then I yeah, like Dave's like, this is not right. So yeah, I loved it.
Well, first of all, kudos. So we're going to talk about this idea of people being paid to work a shift, which we know has happened. I saw it in Atlanta, right? And if you click that Google Doc, it's pretty good. They clearly stole that from somewhere real. Like, it looks really, really good. And even though the Instagram account had like 2 posts, I'm like, well, this is from Dave and it's probably real. And I'm just up at 5:30 and it looks decent to me and let's go with it. And then Dave's like, I don't think it's real. So I then Googled, I then asked chat, and they're like, yeah, probably not. Because again, it's like, what are they trying to do? Just steal email addresses?
I have no idea, because I mean, I didn't fill it out and everything. I didn't go through the process, and I thought about it, but I never had time to go too deep. But for me, the first thing was like, the wages they're offering are below Ontario minimum wage.
Oh, what?
So I'm like, well,
I didn't see what did the I thought it said $15 to $20 an hour.
Yeah, Ontario minimum wage is like $17.50.
Okay, well, that's 15 to 20. That counts.
Yeah, not 15.
Okay. Oh, okay. Well,
yeah. But anyway, it just kind of like seemed odd and stuff. So I mean, a little more look into it. But yeah, I think it's. I would think that if Hyrox was doing that, and this was what I thought when I saw it, was why wouldn't they just reach out to their fan base of people who would already volunteer, and then you get more. And so,
well,
obviously
I can tell you that as a gentleman that owned a staffing company, that I worked with Tough Mudder in the early days before I started ORM even, and they had volunteers and they brought us in to bring people, and it was like, hey, don't let the $12 an hour people, because that's they're getting paid back then, know that these people are working for free, right? So that's why they would do it, because you know what I'm saying? You don't want the kid that did it for free to be like, what the fuck? This guy's making $20 an hour or whatever. So that made sense to me that an outside agency would do it. The one thing chat said was, because I was like, how is this even a scam? Because again, it didn't make sense to me. It's like all of that for some email addresses. And is that they then contact the people and say, oh, we're a staffing company, but you pay us to use our services. And like, if people are stupid enough to fall for that. But who showed you it, Dave? I mean, I guess you have to rat the person out, but
it just came up. No, it
just came up in your feed?
It just came up on my stories, yeah.
Okay.
So the algorithm's finding Hyrox people, which means Hyrox is big enough to scam people. I mean, that's a pretty good sign.
There you go.
Well, I think that company that does the same thing for OCR World Champs has been doing that with Hyrox, right? Like Hyrox live stream, and then you click it.
Remember send us your credit card. Yeah.
Right. Bracken got fooled by one of those once.
Sometimes you really want to see it, and so you roll the dice, right? It's not a good idea.
Right. So the other piece of news, which is far more reaching, is they announced the season a couple days ago. It's actually only been a day. Here's the Elite 15 season, which is the stuff that we know about. Hyrox is known for putting out information that we already know, but I always stop and I'm like, is this new? I have to check my articles. I message Ian, I message Dave. It's like, no. This is just like, they like to trickle out news. So it said this thing about Elite 15, 3 people Rolldowns stop, which is what it used to be. Then they changed it. So I heard from 2 athletes today that shall remain nameless that said, oh, that's not true. I've heard from people at Hyrox and they're going to fix it. And I'm like, okay, great. Could they tell me? Like, do you want to just I'm probably a quick way to get the information across correctly.
So where did that one come from? That information that they were only doing.
It says it right on the post. Would you like me to read it to you?
The Hyrox post?
Yeah,
I never saw the Hyrox post. I just saw your post.
It's Hyrox World. It's Hyrox World. Not to be confused with
that's their
all
main
the other
page.
Hyroxes. And it says Elite 15 singles qualification pathway. And then it's a series of what does being an athlete, Elite 15 athlete mean? I'll just share the stupid thing. Automatically qualified athletes for the majors, compete in 2 pro races, rank in the top 15. Rank in the top 15 of the major ranking list. The top 15 men and women will remain invitations. If an athlete declines, the invitation rolls down to the next athlete in line up to a maximum of 3 roll downs. Do you see this? I'm trying to highlight it.
Yes.
Yep.
So that's the verbiage. And people are, so that was yesterday. And people have since commented the same thing, that like asking, whoa, what the hell? So again, thank you to athletes who told me, but I was like, great, whoever you've spoken to at Hyrox, could they write me back? Could they tell me something? So apparently it's going to be fixed, or those 2 people are wrong and talking to the wrong people at Hyrox. But I'm not going to put, hey, I heard from so-and-so and so-and-so. Like, I got to get an official word on this before I confuse people even more.
Why would they post that and not mean it?
Great question.
I suppose it could be a copy and paste from a couple of years ago.
That's the best I could figure.
You know, because that kind of mistake. But it seems, I would think they'd be better than that. But you know,
this tracks with, oh my gosh, I can't remember when Mo was in an interview, but I know that their concern with the Elite 15 is to make sure that you don't have a lot of stragglers. Like that it's a nice tight race, that you don't have people who are out on course for a much longer amount of time than the top folks. And so this would track as far as keeping it good TV, if that makes sense. Like they don't want, you know, it to roll down to 25, you know, something like that. And then, yeah.
Right. But there's already a decent gap, right? Like,
yeah,
we don't have 15 athletes that are going to finish within 10 seconds of each other. Not yet. Right. So again, by the time you hear this, I may have been proven right or wrong, but I already, and the fact that I already had to remove it once. So I had the post up, and whenever you delete things, it always makes people just ask more questions. So it's always better to just edit a post. However, it let me delete, and I thought you could delete pictures, but you could only delete one picture. So then the one picture left still said like hiring Hyrox. I'm like, well, I can't have that up there. So I deleted it, reposted it, slightly changed the picture, and said blah, blah, blah. So again, if it could be old language, but 2 people, and it's 2 athletes I trust, and they probably don't care if I mention them, but I'm just, who knows? So I'll tell you guys after. But it's like, all right, well, great. Let us know. So let me or Ian know. We're the news people. We like to know these things, and we're happy to help spread the word. And here's what's even crazier. I've been corrected for less. I've posted something that was like not even a big deal, and someone writes me and goes, "That's not what happened." And it's like, "Oh, okay, sorry. I'm sorry I said Q instead of R or whatever." You know what I mean? So I've been corrected for less. So anyway, Hyrox would love to hear from you.
What do you 2 hope is the truth?
That that they roll down as long as it takes. Come on, man. We don't want Elite 14. We hated that. Especially when we see, you know, a Marcus, a Camilla, a whoever that's right there. Of course.
I mean, how many roll downs have we seen make such a big difference?
Right.
Like there's been Dylan. Dylan made his big shot on a roll down. Paleo made his big shot
for one thing.
What's that?
JK back in the day.
That's right, JK. So there's a lot of people who've made a big impact coming from a roll down. So I hope they don't limit it. I don't see. I hear the reasoning. I understand it. I just don't think it's worthwhile. Like, you just get that other person out there. I mean, I don't think it harms anything. Anybody who's not going to pay attention to that person, or where you want an empty slot, isn't going to pay attention to that person anyway. And sometimes you get the best stories from that last place person. If we think back to the Capitol and CrossFit, when Rebecca Fusili, did I say it right? When she gutted through that performance, and the whole community was there supporting. Sometimes that's where you get the best things. So yeah, I would hope that they just fill it.
And there's it's almost impossible to get through an Elite 15 race without at least one drop. So it's like, you just never know. Someone from the bottom could easily jump up into that top half. It just could happen.
Yes. I think so the majors, men and women, are not going to be overlapping. You know, they're not going to be like right next to each other. Starting in Hamburg, they're going to have like a 4 p.m. and a 7 p.m. kind of thing. So there's a lot of distance. So there's room, right? There's room for the race to fully play out and for everyone to finish and to not be kind of on top of each other.
Oh, and I think this is the first separate room we're going to do it in. I say we because I will be there, ladies and gentlemen. So the stadiums will be in the same room, right? In Phoenix and somewhere else. But the knots in Hamburg, there will be it's going to be set up in the next little like hall B instead of hall C. And this, I guess, is a good time as any to talk about the VIP packages they're now selling.
Oh, yeah?
Did you guys see these?
No.
Oh, boy. Well, you remember they did this for Worlds.
Right.
For Worlds was it $350? It wasn't cheap. It was pretty expensive.
It wasn't cheap, and it was like there was just that little elevated platform that there were just like a handful of people sort of standing up there. I assumed that's who
they were looking down on Cheryl, not about to throw up, but just wiping her hands. And from what I could tell, it was mostly sponsors. It was mostly sponsors, and they probably, got a few people who were like, "Hey, I'll do this." So for Germany, let me pull this up really quickly. Do you want to talk about the as per Marcus Wallace news you put on there while I pulled this up?
Well, yeah, and I think this will be worth talking about more when we get closer to Hamburg. But Marcus had a great article from Race Brain talking about the dedicated elite venue, and I didn't realize that won't be the case in Phoenix, that they'll use the stadium, which I think is pretty cool.
Was part of that was the big announcement, was like, hey, stadiums are super cool stadiums for majors, and when it's not a stadium, it's a separate room because Olympics, blah blah blah.
Yeah, because I'll love sitting in that stadium watching that. That's going to be really great. But yeah, 4 p.m. start for the women and a 7 p.m. start for the men. So they have like literally separate events, which I think is nice. I always feel like the second race tends to feel like a little bit of a consolation prize. It's not, this will allow them to give full attention to those. And then one of my favorite things that Marcus says is that the men are going to have little like tattoos with their name and their country flag like on them, because they don't wear clothes, right? And so they're just going to be marked, right? So I love that.
Is this from a post, or you just read this?
I am on the Race Brain newsletter, sir. So
I'm on the Race Brain newsletter.
It came through on Friday, and none of us were feeling good. You may not have read it. I ended up reading it.
So now I know Hyrox is very particular about where logos go, where things go, whatnot, right? So where will these tattoo name tags go?
So he showed a photo of it like on somebody's pec, right? Mm-hmm. But I think there's like one on the front and one on the back, maybe. And so we're going to be able to keep track of them, right? We're not going to be like, who's that white guy? Like we're going to know like who's coming through and what country they're part of.
I'm just like, because I'm thinking, so for me, I'm tattooed clear across the chest.
Well, it'd be tough for you in the Elite 15, Dave.
Yeah, so you won't know it's me. No, but yeah, so I mean, that's why I say I wonder, because I'm sure there's some guys that are, there's a lot of tattooed guys out there that. So I'd be interested to see where they plan to put them.
Yeah, it says mandatory body tattoos for the men with names and country flags, and they have on your pec and then right on your back. And you're right, they may have to deal with tattoos.
I might have to do the skull one. One on the skull. Big Canadian flag.
So here's your Hyrox House, they're calling it. Can you see this?
Yeah. Is it HAUS?
Food trucks, music, community activities, blah blah blah. Elite 15 races Friday and Saturday at 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. Food trucks, coffee from sunrise to sunset. Electronic wristbands for cashless payment. Ooh, they're going festival style with those. It gets you athlete registration, first level foyer. So I guess a closer reg maybe. Oh no, this is just telling us where it is. Okay. Access to the race after party. Well, we all know about those. We all know where Cheryl and I.
That's right. Let's go, Matt.
And this costs, how much would you pay for this, guys? Give me a figure.
I'd pay a couple $100 for it.
What's that? One at a time, please. Dave, what do you think?
I said you're probably asking the wrong crowd.
I'm asking you, Dave, what would you pay for this? If it's zero, say zero. Okay, Cheryl, what would you pay?
Okay, so let me get this straight. So it's kind of its own little spot. It's like its own little venue, and that you have access to food you can buy and like coffee you can drink and just drinks and stuff.
And you get a good viewing spot. You get a sweet viewing spot of the action.
And this is for the major.
This is for Friday and Saturday. I think you can buy it every day, but for Friday and Saturday, that includes the sweet looking spot.
Okay.
I'm imagining like a smaller version of where we did the awards, right? At Worlds?
Right. Yes. I honestly, I'd probably pay a couple $100 for it if it was important to me.
Okay. According to this, it's 149 euros. So that's about $200.
It's a couple $100.
Sign me up.
So I'm going to do it on day one. And if it's worth it, we'll see what happens. Listen, I'm in Germany. It's a party, may as well. Right. And so I can report to the people. I'm a man of the people. This is what it was like. This is worth it. This is not worth it. So
important.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. That's why you need to go on the cruise too.
149 is probably the exact most I would pay. Like if they said 199 euros, I'd be out. 149, I think somebody priced it appropriately.
They've done their market research.
Clearly. Clearly. Okay, that knocks off that. Does this mean well, we got to talk about DEKA next. That was the other big piece of news, right?
Yes.
Oh boy. DEKA news. What changed, Cheryl? What happened since we last spoke?
Since we last spoke, from what I understand, the I don't say Elite 15 in DEKA. What do I say? But the original 15 Elite.
We got machines and cyborgs and just celebrating fitness. The top people from all over the world. That's what we got, Cheryl.
That's right. And there was, usually Deca Worlds, it's 15 people, and that's what you get.
Well,
and
it was 20, and then it was 15.
Actually, first it was 12.
Oh,
yes.
It was 12.
It was 12, 20.
It was the DEKA dozen, which I loved, and they should have kept it.
Yeah, for sure.
They should have kept, because that's what Jack Bauer called it, was DEKA dozen, and I thought, there we go, and they didn't. So yeah, so then they made it 20, and then that just made things logistically really tough, I think, to do 2 heats of 10. So then they went to 15, and that seems to have worked really well last year. So they're keeping it at 15 this year, except the elites are now going to have 30. 30 people get to qualify for the elite wave in DECA Worlds.
What do you have to say for yourself, Dave?
I didn't do it.
Since we know this is your doing.
No, this is not me. This is not me. This is out of my scope of work. Yeah, I mean, I'll be straight out. I'm the one that's been advocating for 10 for a long time. So that's common knowledge.
For elite only, an age group more, just
more for age group and 10 for elite. That's my dream.
Because that gets you the best of the best of the best.
Yeah, because then you get, in my mind, exactly, you get the best of the best of the best, and then lots of age groupers can come in, and because who cares if you have tons of age groupers there? That's fantastic, right? That's great. We want more age groupers. That's awesome. Again, so I will say I don't have all the reasoning as to the why, but what I do have is something that I think some people will say, oh, cash grab. Immediately, anytime someone does something, I've heard cash grab. Just like when Hyrox put in the Pro card cash grab. And I have the same opinion on this as I did the Hyrox Pro card. The Hyrox Pro card is not a cash grab because that's a shitty cash grab. That's not a lot of cash to grab. And this is the same. If you were going to try to do a cash grab, you would do what I just said and load it up with tons of age groupers because you can fill in way more of them and grab more. So I do not think that the method behind it is any kind of cash grab. But I'll be honest, I do not have the exact reasoning as to the why. So we can only speculate. I mean, you tell me why you think they're doing it.
Well, I'm going to read Yancey's quote.
All right, there you go.
Because he gave me a really long quote.
This is what he does.
Just got a very important text. My woman who cuts my hair just confirmed my appointment for tomorrow.
Congratulations.
Very important stuff. Dave knows how that is. Well, it was funny because I I had literally just posted about the other thing, which could have waited. It was something we had talked about already, which was, now I already forgot. Oh my God, what was the big news? Oh, I decided to post DEKA to crack down, which we had talked about on the show, and I thought, oh, we should post this. Like, that's a big piece of news.
That was
And-
a good post.
Right, except 20 minutes later, Yancey's like, oh, we're going to fucking open the Elite. I'm like, well, fuck me. Like, you know, that's a lot of work for me, and, you know, you want to let the news go when it's supposed to go. So the quote he actually gave me was, are you ready?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I will, lots of new countries are hosting races this season, and this was the first year where we had a really big jump in new countries. So many want to travel to compete, and this will open things up. Fun growth times. Might not be something we keep, but it made sense this year. The beaches and weather in Fort Lauderdale, Florida in December are pretty damn epic. So I'm going to say
That was one of the shortest quotes Yancey's ever given.
well, that was like the 7th try. There was a lot of
Okay.
voice notes back and forth, and I said I need something I can print, and I ended up just going with what I thought was the important piece, which was, this isn't forever, this is now. And then I told him I get the whole quote on an article, which I haven't put up yet, but I will. I guess I love Yancey, you love Yancey. I 40% believe that, and I 60% believe maybe it has to do with making sure Americans don't get screwed, / maybe some of the times we're wonky. Where are you, Cheryl? What percentage are you? Big as a DEKA? Are you a DEKA ho? Are you what are you?
I'm a DEKA fan. Let's
DEKA
put it
fan.
that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're not Dustin Needham. You're not a DEKA ho like Dustin Needham.
No, I think Dustin can own that. I think that's fine. And I will say that I really wasn't terribly, like, I haven't even looked at my leaderboard this year. I'm just kind of not in that space right now, right? Optimizing joy. But what really tipped me off was Dustin talking about his leaderboard and how many Spaniards are gumming up his leaderboard. Like, there's a lot of Spaniards on that. And I think that there is suspicion in the community that there was some kind of abhorrent course, like some different course, that the Spaniards got really, really good finish times, and it kind of messed up the global leaderboard this year. And so I think, is it in the back of our heads that this is trying to mitigate a possible errant Spanish course? We will never know for sure.
All right, I've got some intel. Would you like some intel?
Of course.
Some people love stats. I'm not one of those people. I mean, I do, but some people really love stats.
Mm-hmm.
So one of my trusted sources says, I looked more into the Spanish times on the 40 to 44 leaderboard. They appear legit. Each person hit all their splits / laps in each event. Their best times came from different events, and they all had other results in the ballpark of their best. And by the way, it's just that age group that has Spanish dominating. The M35-39 is a fairly mixed bag, and the M45-49 is dominated by the U.S. So it's probably just one of those strange statistical things. But in the end, if they all show up to Worlds in Fort Lauderdale, they'll settle it. So that was good to hear. Somebody actually bothered to not just yell at the headlines like we do, and like, hey, it looks like Dustin's just in a rough group where the Spanish are hot. It looks like.
Yeah. He's just going to have to show up.
I have an interesting thought, and I actually want to ask you this question. So let's just say that Cheryl's right, that there was a bad course, right? And again, I'm not saying there is, because I haven't gone through the stats either, so I don't know. But let's say there was, and you guys are in DEKA's position. What do you do?
Well, I guess the first question is, with all the things we know, Yancey and Nelson and Robin, like, they're super small team, and all the stuff they're juggling is like, how soon do they even notice it? Or is it just like, okay, here's the new times, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Because if you noticed it a while ago and you're like, shoot, do we need to do something about this? Are we concerned we're a top 15? Are things moving so fast that they just didn't? I don't have a problem opening it up. If again, I don't see the money grab either. We'll see how much more attendance is, right? Mm-hmm. But I think people love to man, you come in 30th, you're going to say you're 30th in the world, right? People love to say that. So I have no problem. They could make it 45 people in the age group division. I think it's a lot of kind of fixing on the fly, and I'm fine with all of it. I don't see an issue. I have a much bigger issue with all the stuff we talked about last week with wonky bikes and wonky courses than anything else. That's a real let's get our shit together, and this gets a pass for me. This is like fine, let more people in.
Yeah. And I think like I said, with when you put it in that article about cracking down, I think that there's at least an attempt there to try to crack down and fix some of that stuff.
You're gonna have to clarify, Dave, because you spoke. I tried to quote you. I actually went back and listened. I was like, I got to get Dave's quote right, because there was a lot of like, we all knew what you were talking about, but there isn't anything official. And if it's too soon for you to say it's official, then that's fine. But
no, it's in the rule book.
It's in the rule book that you can look at it, but it's not you must. It's not a you must. It's just we can if we want.
Correct. Basically, DEKA, i.e. me or Yancey or someone in that position, is allowed, as per the rules, to request a video of either, let's say, a course layout. So, for example, if
why don't you change it to you must? Why don't we just cut the bullshit and just say you have to?
To you must?
Yeah, if you expect on making the top 10, if you plan on submitting a time that is going to put you in world condition category, you must. End of story. And then everyone just does it. And then we're not going to call you for it every time, but just do it. And then if we call you for it, you better have it.
So in reality, I could put that word in, but it really doesn't matter. Because if I say I have the right to request it from anyone, and you feel that that's not you must, and you don't put a video together, and I ask you for it and you don't have it, well, you're done. So that's on you, right? So, I mean, yes, we could put in you must and it would be the exact same thing. Right?
Do you agree with that, Gerald? I disagree.
No, I do. Look, I think that if I'm going in thinking that I'm going to have some sort of competitive time, I better document the whole thing. That and they don't have to tell me I must do it, but I need to prepare for them to ask questions because I'm that good.
Dave, you're right, and this is a not but and. It's setting people
right. I'm always right. There's no and.
It's setting people up. There's a way to set people up to win. And if I'm relatively new to DEKA and I don't listen to this show, crime, I know, and I do squeak in, and then I get called on it, and then like, what's this? My gym didn't tell me I had to do that. And it's like, well, you didn't read the rule book. And it's like, does everybody read the rule book? You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying to set it up to the win. Let's get the gym owners doing it, knowing they have to do it no matter what. That's why I'm saying it's a must. Like, hey, we're just going to just know what's going to happen. And then again, they don't have to submit it only if you ask.
That's right.
That's all I'm saying.
And that's the thing. Yeah. And if I'm a gym owner and I see this, and I've already talked to a lot of gym owners, they're like, yeah, and including the one that I work for, she's like, okay, we're videoing the course like right away because she has an event coming in November. So we're going to video the layout to make sure everything's done. And that's the thing. So, I mean, yeah, you're absolutely right. You could put must, but I also don't have to. I don't think it'll matter either way.
Okay.
I think I do agree with you though. I think a lot of emphasis is on the gym owners to tell people signing up that if you have any hopes to go to Worlds whatsoever, or if you're really, really good and you're looking to set a record or whatever, you might want to video your whole run. And most of these are strongs and
Cheryl, have I pleaded my case? If you were the jury, would you agree with me? I'm really looking.
I can see your point, but I can also see where Dave is implying that the must is implicated there. Like
I can tell you that if I told my son, like if I told my son, I guarantee you he'd be like, well, you didn't tell me I had to. You know what I'm saying? I feel like
that's right. And you don't have to. And this is right. You're exactly right. You don't have to. However,
and then just replicate the race.
You know the consequences of not doing it. So you know the rule, you know what you should do, and you know the consequences of not doing it.
Just know it's to me. It's kind of like if, again, maybe this example is wrong, and I'm not like fighting you per se. I'm just thinking about customer interaction. If you send out an email the day before a race and said, by the way, we moved the parking, and half people went to the wrong place, and you're like, well, we sent an email. It's like, no, you got to email, you got to put it on social, you got to call people, because people don't read shit. So that's all. I just want people to be set up to win, and you guys over communicate, not under communicate. That's the word I'm looking for.
I would say that I would agree with you, Matt.
And I agree with that part completely, but the word must wouldn't do any of that.
Why wouldn't it do any of that? Now we're arguing.
It's still just hidden in the rule book in the same spot. It wouldn't do any of those things. But I 100% agree that it needs to be, and like Yancey's putting this on affiliate calls with the affiliates. You know, you actually putting out that post, that helps a lot because people see it.
Thank you.
I mean, yeah.
I also think it is highly unusual for some monster to show up to their very first DEKA mile, DEKA strong, and be that competitive that people would want to see a video. You would have done it a couple times. I think you would be a little more.
Probably. Maybe some of these European, maybe some of the Hyrox folk come over from Hyrox, and they hear of a gym. They don't even know it that well. I'm just saying, I hear what you're saying. You're like, look, we're saying we're going to do it. So like, it's not on us if you don't. So I hear that. And I would just add one word. That's it. But this is not a zero-sum game, Dave. I don't have to be right for you to be wrong, or vice versa.
I think you both have good hearts, and I think you guys are speaking from the same place. Here's what I will say. I've thought a lot about this whole, the Spaniards got away with something, you know, that if that's kind of, you know, murmuring through the community, I don't think there could be anything better for DEKA right now than to have an international rivalry that lasted years and years. I mean, look, the Spaniards came over last year, and they were a passionate bunch.
Well, wasn't that the big controversy? Is that what we had with the doubles?
Yeah. You know, like if we get some more stuff like that, I just think it's only going to make it more fun.
Well, I guess this does bring up an interesting question though, right? Is if somebody's like, you know, maybe, just maybe Angel and the Spanish team are like, we could make a course like that, but shorter, right? But
allegedly,
but it's the same thing we're having with Deadly Dozen, right? Like, well, my country has the world record holder, and it's like, well, you know, are you fucking applying the screws like you should be to have the world record holder come from your country? So I think this country rivalry is good if we have the correct, you know, we just need to replicate Dave. We just need a Dave in every country to drop the fucking hammer and do what needs to be done.
I got another one sitting on the other side of the room.
Just as mean.
Just as meaner.
You know, the Australians are, you know,
wait a minute, I forgot what was it last week that we got her to come over? What were we talking about?
I can't remember, but that was
barbecue.
videos on
Barbecue. Hey, Ripes, barbecue. You're trying to get her.
She ain't even flinching. Nothing.
BBQ.
Yeah, but that's it. I think, like, for the most part, having met on Hell and talked with him and stuff, I know that he wants to run a good clean race. Like, I think it's super important to him.
And I do not believe that any course is such a variance that it's actually going to make that much of a difference. This is why we have world championships. Let's all get on the same course. Yeah. Let's see who's the fastest. It's going to be really fun to watch that.
Just as long as Dave Castro doesn't measure the course, we're in good shape, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, luckily Spain uses the metric system, so we're okay.
Oh, sorry. Did you see the recent podium?
Oh no. Is it me?
I don't know. I got sent this yesterday. Hang on. It's not you. Dave, it was you. You would have heard it already. Let me go to my messages. Hang on. See if he changed it. See if anybody called him out on it. Because it's a well-known, beloved athlete. Oh, shoot. Hang on. Let me find this. I don't want to say the wrong thing. Instagram. I have too many messages in too many places.
I had a message from Kevin Gregory yesterday, and then I wanted to go back and look at it again, and I couldn't find it because it was like 4 different sources of messages from Kevin Gregory, and then a repeat of those from Underdog. And I'm like, I could not find. I had to re-message him going, I can't find this dude. I don't know which one it's on.
Ricky Garrard.
Oh, yeah.
So did you hear about this?
Well, I saw he did a 5K.
Except
No, that's all I saw. That's all I
Oh,
noticed.
he
did the 5K.
he shorted a lap.
Oh,
He's
Only
short
one?
400 meters.
Yeah.
well, that's in line with the
That's
CrossFit
Dave
Fun
Castro.
5K.
Yeah.
That's
Um,
CrossFit 5K. That's legit.
So yeah, so a few people commented. Somebody sent it to me. But yeah, he unknowingly shorted himself, but he hasn't corrected it. So
So now it's knowingly.
okay, but here's my issue more than anything. I saw my first thing was, who claims a 5K PR on a track? To me, a 5K PR is like you did a 5K. Like you said a mile PR on a track. Like to me, it just seemed weird in the first place. I thought that's what it was. Dave, you're saying no, people do it all the time?
Well, no, I mean the Olympics run the 5K on the track.
Right, but who do you know
Right.
that says, here's my 5K PR? Who do you know that does? I've just never seen it. I've just been people.
I don't know. No, most people's is on their own. But yeah, like I mean that wouldn't have struck me as odd. The missing lap, that's not great. And the not saying anything. But what always gets me, and maybe I'm just overly careful about this, but
Sorry, it's a half a lap short. Because somebody said you finished on the same corner, and he said, yes, he's 200 meters short. It's 12 and a half laps. So it's a half lap short.
Okay, so I would like one, if he did that, and if that was me, right, and I did that and I made that mistake, I would immediately be like, oh shit, my bad, sorry,
right?
Immediate apology. And I don't know if other people like this, and maybe it's just me because of the position I'm in, but I am insanely picky about like a rep, any of my reps that go online, any of the runs that go on, anything like that, because normal people in normal position will chew you out a lot, but people in my position would just get destroyed. And that's what I would think a guy like Ricky would be more inclined to protect his,
Did he just
integrity.
not know? Like just completely?
He clearly didn't know, right? I don't think he's a bad person, but I am surprised that he didn't either delete it or add a description comment or a change, because again, by now people he likes or doesn't like people he likes are joking about it. You know what I mean? So it's like, seems a little weird. 5K PR attempt in the new Maverick runners from and it's a sneaker post too, Tier Sport. Yeah. So the folks from Tier need to jump on it.
He should embrace the mistake and just go 4,800 PR.
Yeah, 4820, right?
Yeah, like just embrace it and have fun with it.
Anyway.
But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I would just be always super careful, especially stuff like distances or pull-ups, anything that people are going to rip apart.
The internet is terrible. Yes.
All right. Are we ready to talk about the finally released LT Games workout?
Oh, yes.
I definitely want to talk about this.
Well, Cheryl, first I want to say, you and I are chatting. You seem on the stress side, and we're going to have fun. We're going to bring joy to Minneapolis. That's the point, right?
Yes. Look, I am. It was maybe 2-3 weeks ago. I was complaining that I wanted a new race to train for, and complaining works, guys. Like I got it, right? Like I really am very intrigued by this format, and I have been very into just solving the problem, because there are a lot of problems for me personally to solve to get this done. But this is not an easy race. And there is part of me that wants to do a good job. And so this is what I do. I lay in bed at night trying to solve the problem, trying to figure out how I'm going to get this done. And part of me likes being like this, right? Part of me likes being nervous. The thing that has me nervous is the time caps. That's what has me nervous.
Well, I want to ask Dave, it has the choose your own adventure style. I won't say pick your poison, because we're keeping that for HTX.
That is HTX.
Pick your poison, baby. Little skull and crossbones. Yep. I feel like with this much volume, it doesn't help you. Like by the time you're at station 12, right? If you're doing like 79 reps of these smaller weights, it's like, how is that easier, more? It's like, it just seems, is that wrong for me to think? Like it works for what you have. Feel like this thing's too big.
Yeah, I mean, looking at all the numbers, I don't have all the numbers right off the top of my head, but I looked at the deadlifts at the beginning, and what it was like 225 I'm looking for men. It's like 225, and then like they're for the amount of reps they're substantial deadlifts. Like
Do
we're
you
not
have the
talking a
judges
deadly
card,
dozen
Matt?
65-pound deadlift, right?
Right.
Like is not 225 like the lightest weight?
Matt, do you have the judge's card, or do you want me to send it to you?
I'm pulling it up right now.
Okay. Because it's a lot. Like,
Yeah.
it's a lot. This is not for just somebody like, oh, I'm going to try it. There's a 6-minute time cap on each station.
Yeah.
And so those first few stations where the volume is high, you definitely run the risk of coming up against the time cap. And if you don't finish the reps in the time cap outlined, they add 6 minutes to your finish time.
Okay, so this tells us the overall, but it doesn't tell us the
Right.
weight.
Well, I'm gonna pull that up while you're looking at this, because I'm just showing the people who are watching or listening at home.
All right.
The
So
first
we're
run,
running 1,000 meters, right?
right, and then we're deadlifting how many pounds, Dave?
7,500. Oh, sorry, 10,000 for men, 7,500 for women.
Yes.
So here's
Okay. So the weights are a little different than I thought. Okay, 225 is the heaviest for the men.
Right. So 74 reps of 135. That's just out of the gate.
Yeah. It's a lot.
Right. So it's almost like, yeah, you could say 120 and do 100 of those too, but like, is it? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like, is the stimulus of doing 225 for 45 much different than the stimulus of doing 135 for 74?
Right. Thank you for saying it.
Dave, what's your thinking on that? Like,
I hate
what?
this. I want to change this round thing.
For me on that,
Yeah, like what would your strategy be? I mean, I think, look, bottom line, I'm a runner. This race does not, like, I am not going to be good at this, right? Like, this is not what I train for. And so let's say the difference between you and me, because like when I do HTX, I do 20-pound weights. I do the lowest weights. Yeah. Whereas you do HTX, you pick the heavier weights, right? Yeah. So tell me about the strategy you would take versus the strategy I should take in this race.
I don't think you have an option.
Correct.
Yeah. So I mean,
would you take the heavier weights?
Would I? The question is, would I? So I would be saving 30 reps, or sorry, 29 reps if I took the heavier weight.
See, and that doesn't seem like a lot to me.
That's 90 pounds more per rep. So I would probably actually take the lightweight on the deadlifts.
And that's what I'm thinking too. You don't gain much by adding weight.
By the way, how did I not see that? Where do they add the 6 minutes? Where is that?
That was on. There was an LT Games story where it was sort of an Ask Me Anything, and somebody asked about time caps.
Okay, so that's
what Matt. I was actually fine with this race because I thought, okay, it's going to take me a while, and then I saw there's a 6-minute time cap. I was like, oh no! Like then all of a sudden.
So I'm guessing that's because they want to move people along because they can only put 10 people through at a time or whatever.
6-minute time cap to do your 1,000 plus your deadlifts.
So my time cap is I have 6 minutes to get that 1,000-meter run done. Then I have 6 minutes to get the deadlifts done. Then, so I did a dry run of a half LT this weekend, and some of these stations, I may not hit the time cap if I don't get stronger.
What's added if you don't get it?
6 minutes.
So even if you get 95 reps or whatever, 95, like they add 6 minutes. That doesn't make any sense. That can't be right.
We may need to get the rule book to confirm this or get somebody to confirm it.
Well, I can ask Matt. I can ask Matt right now. Sorry, my name's Matt. I can ask Wes right now while we move along. Let's go to the next station.
Scroll back up to the next one. Scroll back up to the next one. So yeah, Cheryl, like I said, I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but I don't think you have a choice on the deadlifts.
Well, no, I don't.
No, and to be honest, I'm not the world's greatest deadlifter, right? Mm-hmm. I'm a decently strong dude. For an example, I did deadlifts on the weekend. I was doing 315 for 4. Those were my sets were. My max, I have no idea what it is, but let's just say it's somewhere between 350 and 4 would be my guess. But that 225 for 45, I mean, 225 is still some weight. I think after the run and with so much more to come, I would probably just go with the lighter weight and just make it easy on myself and take the higher reps.
Yeah.
So, and then what's your next one? Wall ball?
Wall balls, what Hyrox athlete is worried about wall balls?
No.
I can go as low as 12 pounds on the wall balls, but I actually think going ahead and doing 14, since I'm used to it, that buys me, a few reps and a little bit of time. So that's not the issue. The next issue is the shoulder to overhead. I don't know how many people lift that kind of weight shoulder to overhead. I think this is going to be the great limiter to a lot of people, just because it is not a movement that a lot of people can do healthily.
So let's read these though. Men 135 pounds times 45, 95 by 64, or 75 by 80. For the women, it's 95 pounds by 48, 75 by 60, 55 by 82. So again, I just feel like you're doing so much volume. How are you going to survive?
So 135, 40. So that's not an uncommon weight for me. That is an uncommon amount of reps. Again, probably for me in that one, I might take the middle ground. I might do the 95. Like 95 to 80 is only, or 95 to 75 is 20 pounds. 95 to 35, that's 40 pounds. Right. So I think, for the extra 19 reps, I'd probably go to 95. And on the wall balls, I do same as you, Cheryl. I do 20 pounds for 50. I mean, 6 pounds on the wall balls for an extra 21 reps. Nah, it ain't worth it.
All right. So then dumbbell ground to overhead. Oh, actually, these aren't in order because there's you do a run or a row in between. Sorry. So
so Matt, I just sent you the judges scorecard that you sent me a while back, and it's a little easier graphics, and it also goes in order.
Okay, there you go. About that. Yeah, because I had because on the website I listed them. So yeah, so the run, then that deadlift, then you row 1,000 meters, 750 meters for women. Let's talk about this. You heard him talk about it on the podcast. Why are men and women doing different endurance?
Because we girls are tiny.
Right. So what about a very small man? What about Kevin Donahue?
I mean, you got to go by averages, right?
I just think we don't do that. That to me is silly.
So to me, I wouldn't do it just because
there are some really tall women who crush those machines, right?
100%.
At Hyrox, and the 5'5" gal is like massive difference, right?
Yep. So here's the reason I wouldn't have changed it. It made it different. It's because
Monique McCreener is 6'2". I just stood next to her at rally. So when she does Hyrox, she has an advantage on those machines. Okay, that's how it goes.
Yeah. So my thing is, it shouldn't matter because the women are competing against the women, the men are competing against the men. So that's why I say I wouldn't have changed it. Now, if I'm going to go averages, and if I wanted them to have similar times, then yeah, I would probably change it. I would probably, and we see it happen in CrossFit as well. Now,
and this format is very, very dependent on moving people through.
Yeah.
You can't you've got Hyrox athletes out there for 2.5 hours, right? You can do that on that format. This is, you're going from equipment to equipment to equipment. You need to move people through. And so I think the average women's time on a ski, on a row, is going to be slightly slower than men's. It may be them just making sure that we're moving through.
Well, and then to be honest, if that's the real reason, and maybe he'll tell me that, then that's fine. I mean, again, I don't think it should be that way because women are competing against women. Anyway, then the wall balls, then a ski, 1,000 meters, then box jumps.
Yes. Which
you can do box jumps. You can do a 30-inch 33 times, a 24-inch 42 times, or a 20-inch 50 times.
Yeah. And it's jumps. Is it jump over or jump and extend?
Jump over.
But it is not step over, because I asked this question.
No, it's jumps. It's jumps. And what was it? So I'm not doing the 30. It's just too much effort.
What's DEKA 20? Is DEKA 24?
DEKA's 24.
Yes.
What's the rep difference between the 24 and the 20?
8 more.
8 more?
8 more
Yep.
than 20.
Oh, I'm doing the 20.
Yep.
The women only have to do 7 more on the 20.
Yeah, even more so. Yeah.
Then barbell shouldered overhead.
Well, then you run 600 meters.
Sorry, then you run again. Yeah, and the runs, the machine work goes down, is like descending down, right?
Right.
I like that.
I like that too. I like that too. So then barbell shoulder overhead, you're going to do 6,000 pounds total. Dave, I'll give you a 135-pound bar, and you can do it 45 times. Yeah. I can give you a 75-pound bar, and you can do it 80 times. Or right in the middle, I can give you a 95-pound bar and do it 64 times.
Yeah, like I said, I'm taking the 95.
Cheryl, are you going 95, 75, or 55?
Cheryl doesn't have a choice.
No choice. I have absolutely no choice. The 55 is the lowest. And on a good day, I'm usually pressing like 20-pound dumbbells, right? Like that's you. And no, on a really good day, 25s. So 55 pounds, 82 times is that is the problem I'm solving this week, is how to handle that.
I think they got to figure this out now that I think about it, because I can't be given the same fucking penalty as the person who didn't do it at all. Like, what if I'm like, you know what, my arms are smoked, I'm just going to sit this one out or do 10 reps and get penalized for 6 minutes? Like, you got to figure out a percentage of work penalty.
Yeah, that's a good point, because when I did the half LT this weekend, I came right up against, like, the deadlifts I was able to do within the time I had allotted myself, because I did a half LT, so I gave myself 3 minutes to get stuff done, right? So the 3 minutes on the deadlifts I was able to accomplish, but the shouldered overhead, I was 9 seconds over. And part of that is just me sort of not knowing how to manage my rest, and so I'll learn how to do that. But I was thinking, what if I get 80 reps and it hits 6 minutes?
Right. That's like, what I'm saying. They gotta figure this out. I think the order of these have changed, because I said burpee box jump over already, and we didn't do the D-bell box step over, because the box step over is a step over, but you're holding on to a dumbbell.
So Matt, you said the box jump over.
Yep.
That's one thing. That's different than the burpee box overs.
Sorry. Okay.
So we've already done the box jump overs. And then after the shouldered overhead, we have to row for 600 meters or 450 meters. And then you grab a dead ball, a 20-pound dead ball for women and a 40 for men. And it's a box step over that you do.
And then what's the choice here?
But then there's a burpee box jump over. That's station 12.
Yes.
Yeah, there is.
So what's 6 and what's 12? I'm very confused.
Okay. So no. So the D-ball box step over, Dave, you pick 30 inches and you do 20 reps. 24 inches is 25 reps and 20 inches is 30 reps.
No, I'm doing 20 inches with 30 reps.
Yes.
Right. I understand that. Tell me the difference between station number 6, box jump, and station number 12, burpee box jump over. So you're doing the burpee first and the box jump over. Yeah, there's no way in this competition. This is an extremely fit person's cross-ish competition.
Matt, are you still giving me a hard time about being nervous about this?
I would be extremely nervous, Cheryl. Do you want to refund your plane ticket? This looks very hard.
Look, listen, like I said, I've already run kind of a half sim, and I am not going to be like stellar at this.
Somehow I missed that. Like, I knew there was the jump over and then the step over. Somehow I missed there was an additional burpee box jump over.
A lot of box overs.
My Achilles tendons after Saturday's trial run were talking to me.
Yeah.
This is training things that I have not trained, and I love that. I love that this thing is scaring me to death. I don't know if I'm going to get a penalty, but I'm going to try my darndest not to, right? Like this is just everything I want right now in my life is just something that's terrifying to me. This takes out everything I'm good at. There's only like 3 runs and it's on an assault runner, which I'm terrible at.
Yeah, those are I don't love them. I've only done it for Athex a couple times, and I've never. I mean, once you get into the groove, you're in the groove, but it takes
an assault runner does favor size and weight.
Yeah, I'm this tiny little light person. You know what I mean? So there's nothing here that helps me. It's just going to be
wall balls.
Oh yeah, because I'm great at those.
Well, there's wall balls and there's dead balls over the shoulder, which is what DEKA Station 8. So that's a good one.
You know what, and that is I will say,
Matt, you got it right.
I will say,
let's go.
Yeah, nice job, Matt. The jumps were surprisingly not that bad, and I think it's just because of my engine, right? Like I've got enough of an engine that I can kind of handle that. I can do the 20-inch box jumps. They're not pretty because I'm not a CrossFitter, but I can get them done with a decent rhythm and have some time. The stuff that was really tough was, like those shouldered overheads, right? That high volume, relatively heavy weight is really, really going to wear people out. And after the burpee box jump over, then you run for 400 meters.
What was the burpee box jump, or was that after the shouldered overhead?
So you do shouldered overhead, you row. You do box step overs, the D-ball box step overs, then you ski.
Okay.
Then you do burpee box jump overs.
Okay.
And then you run.
So the burpee box jump over is just height of the box, right? That's the difference again?
Yep.
Yes.
And what are the rep schemes?
20, 25, and 30.
So it's the same as the box step over.
Yeah, I'm doing 30.
Yeah.
5 more for that easy jump, no problem.
Yeah. It's not going to be as so then you run a 1/4 of a mile. And then the next thing is a dumbbell ground to overhead, which I thought, oh, what's the problem? And it was actually my least favorite thing. You're so tired by then, and the volume is enormous.
So you got 50 in each hand, Dave, 35 in each hand, or 25 in each hand. You can do
there's 2 dumbbells, 1 in each hand, right? And it's ground overhead.
Yes. So you can do 40, 58, or 80. 80 fucking reps.
Okay, yeah, I'm taking the 50s for 40.
Just gonna get the 40 done.
Yeah.
How long do you think that would? How long would that take you, Dave? At this stage of the race, how long do you think that would take you?
At that stage of the race, I can't say, but I could tell you for me to do it in the minute, because I mean, ground to overhead like that. I mean, we're probably looking at 2 to 3 minutes.
Would you lay down at any point?
No, not for that. I lay down for running.
Listen, guys, I have a little bit of an engine, right? Like I can get some things done. I was absolutely shocked at how horrible this station was.
Yeah.
I was planning on using the 25s because for me, I would have to do 60 reps with 25s. Mm-hmm. I went down to the 15s and I have to do 100 reps and it's kind of a nightmare. Like it's kind of a surprising nightmare.
What are the lowest weight for the men's?
25s. 25
in each hand.
All right. I'm just thinking of you, Matt. I'm like, that's gonna be a real struggle.
Dude, there's no listen. I already know I cannot. This is not like a Hyrox I can finish in a couple hours. This is something that I physically cannot do. I mean, listen, I don't know how long it's going to take me to get in burpee box jump over shape, but it's a while. Like starting now. You know what I'm saying? Like we all like what we've learned is how bad my mechanics are in everything. And I'm committed to getting better and I'm going to my PT strength trainer now, but we're a ways from this.
Yeah.
We're a ways from this and that's fine. Where were we? So then there's,
so you do the ground overhead and then you row for 400 meters, Dave.
Yeah.
And then your last thing you do before a 200-meter sprint is D-ball over shoulder.
Yeah, I'm taking the heaviest.
Yeah, you only need to do
40 pounds.
You only need to do 10 of those.
40 pounds?
Yes.
For men?
Yes.
What's the light one?
20.
20.
That seems like a miscue from everything else you've just done.
I'll tell
Like,
you.
I would have thought, I would have put on that one, honestly. That would have been for men. I would have had 180 and 60.
Well, I think he said it was just to kind of mess people up. Like, you've
It's
done
a
all this
speed
stuff
bump.
and it just want to do something to like kind of throw you off before you run, is to make you do this weird, awkward thing.
Oh, yeah.
20 by
100
20, that's DEKA, right? Isn't that what we do for DEKA? 20 by 20?
No, men do
No,
60
no,
pounds.
Deck is 60 pounds for men.
Oh, well, shit, then I can do the 40 by 10 on that one. I can conquer that station. I got
That's
it.
what I mean. I would have went, that's why I said I would have went 180 and 60.
No, mentally, it's kind of interesting. It comes in, you're tired, but you just kind of get it done. Like it really is just a speed bump. I actually really like how all of this, except for the ground overheads, like for the most part, everything is reduced as you go along. It gets mentally kind of easier to get it done. And yeah, those ball over shoulders are just they're just a little speed bump, and then you just pop on the machine and you get 200 meters done and you're finished.
No, it sounds interesting. I mean, I will set it up and try it. Yeah, I am surprised, like that dead ball thing, and then like 40 pounds.
Yeah, Dave, I would love to. I think you should do it, and not even like a kill yourself. Do it like do it at like a 85%. Yeah, see how long it takes you. Just trying to like, don't even worry about the time. Just start the thing and do it. Where's your nearest assault runner?
That's the problem. I don't know.
On the roof of the RV?
Yeah, I like even like gyms around here. I don't know. I would maybe have to make a trip to one academy to pull it off. But the chance,
I mean, if you did it on a regular treadmill, I would
just do it on a regular treadmill.
Yeah, I wouldn't kill you for that. I wouldn't be like, you're horrible and wrong for doing that.
No, I would just do that on a regular treadmill. And I mean, realistically, what is the running? It's what, a 1,000, an 800, and a 600, or what is it?
Yeah, it's 1, a couple miles. That's it.
Yeah, so I mean, it's almost irrelevant. Like I would just be because I mean, we're gonna be out there a while. I'm going out. That's my recovery. I'm gonna recover on the run.
Well, I got good news for you, Cheryl.
What?
I think they're live streaming the entire event.
Oh, for
nice.
I suggested
a lot of me.
I suggested just the Elite Heat. I said, it's like it's not really that exciting to do the whole thing, but they're like, hey man, we're gonna do it. We've got the team, so some permanent cameras, some other stuff. So maybe the folks at home will catch you, Cheryl.
So here's a question.
I mean, I'm gonna film you regardless, but
here's a question for you. Gear. What are you gonna wear for gear?
Great question.
I bought some new shoes.
Okay.
What did you buy?
I didn't want to wear my running shoes. I wanted to have something that was a little more kind of user friendly for the jumps.
More of a Metcon shoe.
Yeah, I still want to be able to run in it. So I got some ons, that have kind of they're kind of nice and compact. And so I'm doing that, just something that will slip in and out of the machines quickly. I can jump with that sort of thing. And then I have a pair of I'm wearing just kind of standard Hyrox gear as far as like shorts and a top, that's just real.
What about a weightlifting belt? Like honestly, I would consider a weightlifting belt and gloves. You were doing so many like deadlifts, so many dumbbells, a lot of barbells overhead and stuff. Like it wouldn't take long. Like when you're doing 80 deadlifts, it wouldn't take long to tear a callus off your hand. I'm
going to be right back while you guys are chatting. I'm going to try to find if on their site it talks about chalk versus gloves. I think it said chalk was going to be there and weight belts and all that stuff. But you guys keep chatting because I got to deal with something else here at home. Hang on.
That's the thing. This is all such new territory for me. I think, he's talking about elite waves. I actually don't think anybody's signing up for this that isn't gunning for the money. I actually think they're all gunning for. There's a decent prize purse coming for this, and I don't hear of any ordinary folks signing up for this. I plan on being the most ordinary person, which will give everybody insight as to whether or not they should sign up, right? And so I don't know anything about gloves, weightlifting belts, that kind of thing, and whether or not that's actually going to help me. I will say that doing the half LT, the deadlifts definitely made my back really tight. I don't know if belts would help with that sort of thing. Okay. And gloves, I was just bringing a towel, which I feel like in these stations, I should be able to just bring, some gear with me as I go, since it's just all in a line. The towel was working pretty well. So I don't know, like maybe I start, I think I need to experiment with equipment, and also I'm thinking with cadence. By the time I got to those ground to overheads, to be able to do 100 of those in 6 minutes actually takes some thinking, right? You've got to get those done pretty quick. And I found that if I slowed down the cadence, the lactate didn't build up. Yeah. Things didn't seem to go as poorly as when I was trying to get like 10 done quickly and then rest. Because I feel like the rest is really where the danger is. So I don't know if anybody has any thoughts on this. I'm definitely open. But what are your thoughts, Dave?
It's easy to turn a 5-second rest into 30.
Yes.
Really quick.
As soon as I finish, like as soon as I would set the deadlifting down, like I would set the bar down, everything felt worse, right? If you keep doing it, it actually kind of keeps things seem better than if I try to rest.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think with, I know Rise does this dirty trick all the time where if I'm doing something competitive or whatever, and wherever, even if I do the HTX or whatever, and I have to rest, as soon as I set it down, she goes 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And instantly your mind is like, okay, I got to pick it up.
Okay.
And it's so dumb because your mind shouldn't work that way. But as soon as you hear that one, it's like, I got to pick it up and go. Mm-hmm. It's just, it works.
Yeah. I've asked for that before. Like when I'm working with, if someone's helping me and I'm at an, hang on, my son is like stomping around. He can't find his headphones. I think it's pretty amusing. I've been like, hey, just like, you know, like with wall balls, like I'm going to put it down. It's like, all right, just as soon as I drop it, just in your head, count 3 seconds, then start saying 5. Right. Mm-hmm. And that kind of usually does move. So, I looked up online and it does say, oh, now I lost it already. Damn it. Where'd it go? It did say, the thing about the 6 minutes, and it says if you get capped on 3 stations, you're DQ'd. Out.
Yeah.
So clearly they need to eventually get like an age group division where even like, again, you have to be really fit to do it, but still some people won't be able to. And that's pretty intense.
Well, it doesn't, it doesn't seem like they're trying to build this giant mass participation thing.
Well, clearly not, but I still think you don't want people walking away. It's like the old battle frog thing, right? Like if you can't do any of the fucking obstacles, like, do you even come back because it kicked your ass too bad?
Yeah. And I think that's my goal, is just finish, right? It's been a long time since I've been in an event to just finish. And I don't know how many people, what is it? He said like 250 a day are showing up to this. They've got 250 spots. How many of those people are going to be like me who just want the experience? I think they're offering a big enough prize purse. I feel like most of the people that are showing up.
We didn't even talk about the prize purse, Cheryl.
Well, we should.
$5,000 if you win.
I mean, who's not going to turn that down? Like they're going to show up just because look, Marcus Wallace, I think, is coming. Lauren Rontola is coming. Like there's some decent Hyrox athletes that are going to, I think,
Marcus might be a guy who's a legit contender for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Marcus has been in the back asking me about it. Marcus, I guess.
The only thing Marcus has going against him is long levers.
Mm.
Right.
But how is that? Tall. I guess for the deadlifts, that's going to be a problem.
Deadlifts, shoulder to overhead. Right. Like those will both play a part. But but he's exceptionally strong. He's exceptionally fast. He's got great cardio. Like,
yeah. And this really is an engine kind of race. Like if you're doing 82, 90 reps of something, like it's as much engine as anything.
Yeah, it's he messaged me back. He just messaged me back and said, only station there should be worried most about is the shoulder to overhead and dumbbell ground to overhead.
Yeah. Yep.
That's the only worry.
From my experience, yes.
The thing is, when your shoulders go and your triceps go, they're gone.
Yeah.
They take a while to come back.
Right.
Right. Like everything else pretty much. Yeah, I would agree. Those are the ones that would be the scariest. And for me too, even the deadlifts off the start, just because it's number one thing, it's a lot of reps, it's a lot of weight. It's I would think for me, once I got through that, I would feel good because I'm a very shoulder dominant dude. Right. So those would play well. But I think that those are going to cook people. Even if you watch people do DEKA Atlas,
I was gonna say,
Right.
do you have a DEKA Atlas record, Dave? Do you have a Deadly Dozen record? Because those are some shoulder workouts, buddy.
I do not. My DEKA Atlas, I'm close to the top for age group. Never done the Deadly Dozen one, but the Atlas kills people on the shoulders.
Isn't Amber going to put on a gym event or two for you to go do?
She has. I haven't got a chance to do them yet. They're always. I don't know if you know this, but I'm really busy.
All right. So Cheryl, I want to make sure we get this right.
Okay.
Bubbles is the mayor of DEKA Town. What did you call Amber?
Did I call Amber something?
I just
No,
want to
it was Chelsea. She was like this. She was like the DEKA mascot or something because you'd made that AI rendering that turned out to be Chelsea.
Right. Well, it was based on Chelsea, so.
Well,
but then Dustin was the DEKA hoe, and so I want to make sure everybody gets their proper.
I think we've got a whole board going.
Zach is still the box over queen.
Zach is
100%, 100%, and he gave me this beer.
What kind of beer is it? Do you want to shout it out?
Sapporo is non-alcoholic.
Where's your sponsor, Dave? Where's your beer sponsor?
I am not a non-alcoholic monogamous guy.
Okay. Are they not your sponsor anymore?
No, I'm still an ambassador for them. But I like to play the field. I like to try all sorts of stuff.
Do you want to give people a code? Is there a code or anything you want to use?
Dude, I don't even know what that code is anymore. I think it's Dave C10.
You're not very good at this.
No, I'm a terrible ambassador for them.
So
they make it so okay. So here, anybody who's ever an ambassador for something, and companies who do this, stop making it so bloody difficult. It's like stop adding an app or a different program or a website you got to go to every 6 months to change everything up, and just pick good people and let them do what they do.
Right.
Just stop with all the
I'm a big fan of mud gear. I'm wearing mud gear right now. I've been talking about them since 2013. Little did I know I actually have an affiliate code with mud gear, even though I've been talking about them for literally a decade. And the other day I got like $18 payout for mud gear. And I was like, what is this? They're like, you have a code with us. Well, I mean, I've been talking about you. I'm clearly not doing a very good job because I don't use my code, which, anyway, so I got $18 for mud gear.
But I'm like that, like frontline equipment, right? They got the rucks they're using for deck and stuff. Great. I'm not even an official ambassador for them, but I helped them and I show them because it's good stuff.
Right.
And I like it. And I mean, he's giving me some stuff right here and there, but it's like, there's no difficulty. There's no hassle.
Did you find him, son?
Bethany, I've always said we are the worst ambassadors in the world, and yet we're good, but we're terrible because they make it too difficult for us. And we're like, no.
Clearly,
yeah, Dave, I would hire you in a second. By the way, it's not Mudgear's fault that I never used that code. I just forgot I had that code. I literally forgot I had it.
To just get money in the mail.
It's listen, it's amazing, and that's the goal is like if you do it right, is you get a little bit from everybody.
What did you do with the $18?
Whatever you want to call it. What is that? 3 coffees?
Yeah, I was going to say coffee. It had to be coffee.
I mean, but I got to say, there's plenty of companies I've worked with where the first check was 18 and, the 10th check was a lot. So it's like, stuff happens. I just happen to not know that. Hang on. I'm trying to get, hang on.
Okay. Well, you're distracted. Cheryl, when is the LT games?
I have 5 weeks. It's October 25th.
Okay.
So my plan this week is to just try to get the 82 reps done in 6 minutes, fresh, just to mentally know I can do it. What I'm trying to decide is, do I do slightly lighter weight just to give me a little bit of an advantage? Part of this is just staying healthy enough in training to not overdo it. So then I end up injured and I can't finish the training.
I would recommend the weightlifting belt.
Oh, hang on. I got a special guest. Hang on. Hold the phone. We were gonna wrap up this call because we're about an hour and a half, but we're talking about this ridiculously hard thing called the LT games, and we're doing back and forth. I got 2 very fit people on this call with me. We got Cheryl Snow and Dave. Cheryl is coming to this event. We've convinced Cheryl to come to Minnesota, and I have a bone to pick with this 6-minute cap thing. So can we talk about the logic behind this?
You can. Well, I mean, we can. Yes, you can ask all the questions you want, and I will give you the the best answers that I can.
Okay, so first of all, is this your camping chair that you just rolled up and threw outside your garage after a run? Was that where we're reaching you?
That's exactly what I'm doing. I've got one kid on her bike right now, on her Elsa bike, and then the other, my son is driving his John Deere tractor that I swapped out and gave a more powerful battery so he could go faster.
Nice. Well done.
Ooh,
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can
That's
tell
good
you.
living.
Do you want to know what your future is? Do you want to look into over here? This is your future.
The crystal ball.
Here. So Jackson is 16, and he was just stomping outside, up and down, upside, because he couldn't find his either his headphones, his charger, or the things that hold the headphones. It's awesome every day. But what's really scary is he sounds exactly like I do, looking for stuff, and that's the really sad part, right? When you hear yourself in the
the
other
children
room.
are your mirror to your soul.
Very scary. Oh, by the way, so this is Wes, everybody. Wes
Hi,
Robertson
Wes.
from.
Hi, everybody.
Do I say you're from LT? Do I say you're from the LT Games? Do I say Wes at Lifetime? People might think
I
you're
would say
a gym instructor. People might think you're a bike instructor.
Yeah, I in life employee here, but LT is the project that I'm working on.
We heard none of that.
The
Ring around.
Wi-Fi doesn't work with the.
That's okay.
Let me see.
You need road hockey Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
Yeah.
can you hear me now? All right,
Yes.
so Lifetime is my official employer, but LT Games is a project that I'm working on at Lifetime currently. And
Got it.
hopefully for a long time.
So why am I penalized just as badly for getting 95% of the work done as somebody else who might have gotten 50% of the work done in any one station?
Yeah, so with the 6-minute cap and as we kind of talked about the last time I got to be on, the way that our lanes are set up and the 15-minute stage starts in order to keep the flow of class so that someone, or the flow of the event, so that someone is not behind catching you, it's going to be that 6-minute timer that you have to get all work done. The majority
doesn't
of our
explain why you penalize everyone the same. That explains the flow, but it doesn't explain why you penalize us equally.
So Matt's talking about this theoretically, but I have actually signed up for the event, right? I'm going to be the most normal person.
Yeah, Cheryl, I'm only
in the
talking to
course.
you now. I'm only talking to you, Cheryl.
Okay, so let me tell you what's keeping me up at night. What's keeping me up at night is trying to get 82 shouldered overheads done within 6 minutes, and I get to 78, and it hits 6 minutes, and I have killed myself, and I've also just added 6 minutes to my time.
Correct.
So how is that? How am I incentivized? How am I not incentivized by doing 0 shouldered overheads and resting for 6 minutes, knowing that I can't get it done?
It's funny you brought that up, Cheryl, because we think that there might be athletes that end up doing that, right? If this is one of those things where I'm here to complete per se, not necessarily compete, that might be something that makes sense for some of the athletes that are taking on LT Games. So I don't think that that's a far-fetched scenario. I think it gives everyone that is signed up for LT Games or aspires to sign up for LT Games, I think it gives them something to work towards. We know the last time I was on, I talked about we were a heavy hinge race and we were a heavy overhead, which is different than some of the other. We know that that's a factor. We hope that it positively changes the industry trains.
So this is going to be normal. There's not going to be like the people who want to try it, like me, who are just motivated to finish it. One of my strategies early on might be skipping a station.
It might be.
Okay.
Yep.
I can
And I think it's one of those. Cheryl's like, all right, good. See, Matt, she's way easier to talk to than you.
Everybody's easier to talk to than Matt.
and I'll be honest, Cheryl, as we dive into LT Games with our first race, this is really the intent is to put a put kind of that stamp out there of what LT games can be. When we look at the 2026, 2027, 2028, we know that there are going to be adjustments made to the race as time goes on. We're going to gather feedback from all of these races. We're going to, figure out things that make sense. We're going to figure out, okay, what do scam call right then and there. We're going to figure out what our age brackets look like. We're going to figure out if we want to do teams or, pairs per se.
Yeah, you split up the work. There's a game changer, right?
Did I lose you guys?
No, we got you.
A little bit. You're good.
Yeah, you split up the work, obviously, and that makes everything a lot more digestible.
Yeah,
I guess that's kind of what I was asking is, like, there is precedent, right? So, time cap plus. Oh, there he goes.
You lost him.
He'll probably come back. But right, time cap plus. Time cap, +7 versus just time cap, right? That's all. And so maybe you'll get there in the future, but I feel like I never let me not do the work be part of my strategy. I always want it to be, I got capped. Here's what that cost me, and I still keep going. That's as far as sport goes. But if that's what it is this time, not huge deal.
Yeah, and like you said, we'll make adjustments as we learn. We'll make adjustments as we, get the feedback from racers. The good news about Lifetime LT Games is we're not locked into one thing. We're going to learn from this first one. We're going to make adjustments. The second one that we run in 2026 will be different from this one, and that's what the exciting piece about is. We're not tied to anything, and we're welcome. We're always open to feedback, and we're always open to making the changes.
I don't think I asked you this. I know that we joked about you selfishly like this because of the work that you do on yourself, that where your strengths are. Are we talking about 5 people? Are we talking about 20 people? How did this stage get set?
Yeah. So
Oh man.
Listen,
we're gonna have so many questions for him.
I only got one question for him.
All right, I want to hear Dave's question. Yeah, that's what I was doing, texting back and forth. He was saying he'd come on, and he's like, "Oh, I just went for a run," and I was like, "Oh, but come on, we can because I was really gonna wrap it up." And then once he started answering my questions, I was like, "Well, just come on the show if you can."
Yeah. My one question is the same as always: Canada.
Okay.
Well, I am gonna want to know.
There we go. Okay, so
we're just going inside.
Dave has a question for you.
It's my question for every race.
Okay,
Canada.
you ready?
When's it in Canada?
Yeah, what does 2026 look like?
Oh, there we go. It was saying I was losing. Will be you guys might be the first to hear this. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Matt. All right, perfect. So our plan for 2026 is to open more locations exactly like the Target Center location that we have. So the great news about Lifetime is we have the square footage in our clubs already to be able to host this. So in 2026, the plan is to build 5 or 6 more hubs like the one we have at Target Center. Once we build this hub, we will then be pretty much ready to run competitions in each of those. Not necessarily every space is going to have enough room for spectators to be able to run competitions, but we do plan on hosting competitions around the country as we go. And Dave, I will say, I have to talk to the legal team. I don't go that high up at Lifetime, but we do have clubs in Canada.
There's a couple close to me.
Yeah.
What about Mississauga? Is that a big one?
Yeah. Well, that's close to me.
Yep. Yeah. There are multiple Canada clubs that we've started to talk about LT games. Just with Lifetime being the size of organization that it is, there's a lot of hoops to jump through. So we have to figure out what makes sense for Lifetime as a business and then LT Games as well.
That means sit and wait.
Yeah.
That means you're talking to the wrong. There's someone higher on the totem pole that could give you a better answer.
That maybe in 2026.
I'm interested. I think it looks cool. It's very different. It's a lot of fun. The only thing that I thought, and I mean, you've addressed this before, that seemed out of place was the dead balls at the end just were very light.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's one of those, as we tested the workout, it was one of those pieces where going from a 400 meter sprint row into a 200 meter sprint run, I'm not going to say any names, but there was a couple pulled hamstrings going from that row right to the sprint run. So this was more of that, like, all right, we know from a health perspective, right, and a longevity perspective, we want to make sure that the athletes that are taking this on, it's smart. They're not going from one sprint to the next. So that little speed bump with the D balls, if it was up to me, that'd be a 150-pound sandbag, but we're not there yet.
I went with for men 180 and 60.
I love that. I love that. We just got to find we got to get Torque to build the bigger D balls for us.
So did you didn't answer the question though. I think that's when you got cut off, is I asked kind of the committee that put this workout together.
Yeah. Yep. So myself and probably 7 or 8 other people had input on the workout. We tested multiple different versions. This one is probably version 7 or 8 of the actual workout that we've done. The first one, I don't want to. It was something we might go back to in the future, so I'm not going to give you exactly what it was, but it was a completely different format than this race style we had. When we got to the race style, we always did the volume of work type of piece, but when we tested it, we did have a little bit more barbell involved. We went through with a lot of Lifetime employees. The great thing about working for Lifetime is we have a lot of people that are already into fitness and wanted to try these things. So we actually did a mini internal competition at our Chanhassen, Minnesota location. We had 68 athletes go through that. We gathered all the feedback. We got all the information that we could. And we realized that was not the right workout for what we were trying to accomplish. There were some more complex barbell movements that the fields did not. Exactly. That's the face we got right there, Dave. So we scaled back on the complexity of the movement. We wanted to still keep the barbell, just take some of the skill work out of handling that barbell. So that was version 5. We made a couple other small tweaks, and after working with Torque and the space that we had is where we landed right now. So we ran a second pop-up competition in the Target Center. We laid some horse stall mats down. We had barbells, we had dumbbells, we had plates just kind of laying all around the floor like you would expect. And we ran, I believe it was just shy of 50 athletes through that one. And that was in March of this past year. So that leads us to where we're at right now.
Have you ever used a torpedo air bike before?
I have not been on a torpedo.
A tornado. Sorry. A tornado.
I was going to say, I have not been on a tornado air bike. Where do I get my hands on a tornado air bike?
Would appear the UK.
The UK. Apparently those are the if you were racing in one, it's the one you'd want.
Okay. All right. That's interesting.
Not if you try to Schwinn. If you're racing one, you want to Schwinn.
That's right. I, for one, am glad there are no.
Last question. Do you have any other announcement about who is special that's coming? I mean, present company excluded. Do you have any special announcement on who's coming? Is Kevin Garnett going to come back? Who's coming?
Where is Kevin Garnett coming from? I will say that one of the really exciting pieces, we just signed our MC, which shout out to Matt for hooking us up with this. Danielle Garter is going to be our official MC. I'm Gertner. Sorry, Danielle. Super excited about that. I know she's going to bring a ton of energy. The other cool piece that I'm extremely excited about is HPLT, High Performance Lifestyle Training, which is head by Brian Mazza, acquired by Lifetime a few months ago. They are running their athletes. They're doing a retreat the same weekend in Minneapolis. So we are going to have their athletes go through it as well. I have not heard the Kevin Garnett, but that would be pretty cool.
I say Garnett gets capped.
Oh man. And now I hope he's there, Dave.
Yeah.
A question I always ask folks is food and coffee options. What are we looking at?
Yeah. So big shout out to the Target Center. We actually have the Thrive market, which is inside of the Lifetime. So we have our own baristas. We have a full cafe, a full lunch, everything is going to be there inside of the Lifetime. Chloe Fema is the director of the Thrive Cafe there, and she's gonna make sure everyone is set up for success.
Okay, do you want to just picture me enjoying a delicious, healthy wrap of some sort and a coffee while I cheer on Cheryl, looking good, or great, good job?
I'm gonna hate you forever. It's just gonna be a nightmare.
All right, well,
you
Matt,
really should have had me come out for this and not him.
Amen to that, Dave. At least I'd have a good coach. Wes, I am actually super duper excited about this. I have been working on it. My goal is to finish, like to actually do everything and be able to get it done. I don't know if I'm going to be able to, but right now I was getting a facial the other day and my facial lady was like, your shoulders look really good. And I'm like, let's go. So yeah, I'm really excited.
Awesome. I'm excited to have you too, Cheryl.
On the Cheryl finishes.
Yeah, I believe in it too. If we need to, we can have Matt be your judge, Cheryl. He can just follow you down every single station.
I don't want Matt near me with that coffee and wrap. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, just coffee breath and his ranch wrap.
Hey, good job. Keep going. Yeah, no, it'll be great.
Matt,
great.
I'll send you over the judge's certification just to go through it in case.
All right, thanks, buddy. All right, listen, thanks for jumping on, Wes.
Of course, appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me.
See you later.
Bye.
What a treat! What a treat!
That does sound like a lot of fun. That sounds like it's going to be a great time.
Oh, Dave, I really wish you could be there. It'd be really cool.
Well, hey, they bring it to Mississauga. That's like 30 minutes from my house.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting though. I'll get into it with him later. But first, when I talked to him, I thought he was saying they have to build the ones that are big enough. Now he's saying, oh, it could fit inside any Lifetime, which makes it huge
they've
difference.
got the space. They could run it like every other weekend. Like they could just have it going all the time, right? Because they're not renting a venue.
Yeah, and it wouldn't cost them. It doesn't cost.
But I thought earlier he said they had to be like these extra special, like this flagship fucking like Puma Vegas, or where were we in Vegas?
I'm sure you have some Lifetimes that are smaller.
Right.
So
they'll do the bigger venues.
Right. Okay. All right. Listen, we've talked for almost 2 hours. I got an angry comment the other day about the 2 hours. So,
they can stop and listen to it.
I know. But listen, it's daunting to some people. All right, guys. Great chat as always. See you soon.
Thanks.